Hi guys, thanks for coming back and continuing on your adventure in lucid dreaming. I hope that you're getting some really good results from this course and that things are moving as swiftly as they are for me. Lucid dreaming is absolutely amazing, as you probably know by now. Well, what we're going to go over now is the power of lucid dreaming through a Tibetan dream Lotus and flame technique. This dream Lotus and flame technique is actually the first part in a 4-part technique that the Tibetan monks do. And there's something that you should know about the Tibetan monks is that they take lucid dreaming extremely serious, and actually they believe that the waking world is the dream world and that the dream world is the waking world, that actually the dream world is the dominant factor and that the waking world really is movable just like the dream. And a lot of that is very true, and actually if you begin to work as a Tibetan monk, you can see that you can completely change your perception of life by doing a lot of the techniques and practices that they do. But they're very, very dedicated, and what we're going to see here is that we can use a portion of their techniques and still get lucid. We don't have to be quite so serious, like staying 7 years in a cave and meditating for the whole time. This is something that only a selected few people can really do. Now, what we're looking at in the dream, lotus, and flame technique is that this is the first part of a 4-part technique, and you can use just the one, but I'll just go over a little bit about how they do it. Now, what they do is they lie on their side with their hand underneath their head and their other hand on their leg, and they call this the tiger pose. And if you're a woman, you want to lie on your right side. If you're a woman, you want to lie on your left side, and if you're a man, you want to lie on your right side. Okay, because the energy flow of the men flow through the right side, and the energy flow of the women flow through the left side. And a lot of times if you're really stressed and you have a lot of energy flowing through your body, if you lie on that side, it suppresses it just a little bit, and it keeps some of those thoughts and emotions running through your visuals as you're trying to meditate. It kind of calms that down for you. So this can help a lot when it comes to working in this area, because a lot of times one of the biggest obstacles is being able to keep the chatter out of your mind as you're falling asleep and doing these techniques. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, what they would do is every 2 hours they'll shift to a different mental pose and a different mental thought or intention. And they'll start out in the throat, and they'll hold a certain image in the throat, like the lotus flower or other images. And as they're doing that, they're building awareness, and they're just telling themselves that I am aware and I am here, and imagining that they are the flame inside of the lotus flower as they fall asleep. And then they continue to fall asleep, and 2 hours later they'll wake up, and then they'll hold a ball of light within their third eye. And that ball of light is a representation of clarity, of pure intention, of clear thinking. Okay, so you see what we're doing is first we hold in our throat and we build awareness, and then 2 hours later we hold in our third eye and we build clarity and intention. Well, then 2 hours later, then you go back to sleep and you hold a specific image, which you can just use a ball of light in the heart, right behind in the center of the heart. And they'll hold that ball of light there as they're building courage and power. So that they have enough electromagnetic energy to enter the dream, but they also are building courage so that they're not afraid, so that they have the power that they need in order to enter. So now you have awareness, you have clarity, and you have courage and power. And then the last 2 hours is where you hold a black ball of light at the tip of the penis or the tip of the clitoris. And what this does is that it frees you from fear and worry. So that's what you're focusing on those last 2 hours, is freeing yourself from fear and worry and criticism. Okay, so this is where we hold all of that energy. So as you do that, then you fall asleep, and now you have an 8-hour night, okay? And you wake up and you go through your day and you imagine that everything is a dream. So if you're walking down the street and something makes you angry, instead of getting stuck in that anger, you just tell yourself, I'm dreaming, and that anger is coming from the dream, and it is as movable and malleable as anything in the dream, and I don't have to be stuck with it. And if you go through your life like this, it begins to switch your perception that this is actually the dream, and the dream world is the waking place, and it allows us to move out of some of the stuck emotions and stuck things that we reoccurringly bring into our life. You know, this is something that the Tibetan monks do in the Buddhist tradition, and you can practice it as well. But the technique that I have down below there is just the dream lotus flame in the throat, and that works just as well. So I'll recap and just go over that real fast so that you understand what to do with it. Go ahead and lie on your back, on your side, whichever feels more comfortable. You can experiment with either ones. And hold the picture of a lotus flower in your throat with a flame in the middle. And you are the flame. You are awareness. That is you. That is your consciousness. And you imagine that you are the flame as you begin to fall asleep. And as you begin to fall asleep, you might want to do a relaxation exercise. And as you're doing that, you'll start to get little dreamlets or visuals coming to you, and you'll actually start to move into lower theta, where you begin to almost dream. At that moment, replay a dream in your mind's eye, and in that dream, imagine then that there's a rug or a picture or some water or a window or a tree or something in the dream that is moving in the same sequence as the candle. Now what this does is it connects your awareness with the dream. And as you're doing that, you allow yourself to fall asleep. As you tell yourself the next time that you're dreaming, you'll remember to recognize that you're dreaming. And you also can tell yourself that I am more than my physical body. And what this will do is it'll bring your consciousness right up to the point where you're about to enter the dream, and then you'll start to get pulled in. And when you do that, you'll know, because the sensations are absolutely amazing. It's just like a roller coaster ride. And just hold on and don't think of anything, don't criticize anything, and definitely don't get afraid. Otherwise, that'll just wake you up. Okay, so if you just hold this image in your throat and you let yourself fall asleep, and you imagine that you are the candle and you're mixing your awareness with an image in the dream, this can trigger lucidity, and you can become lucid through dream yoga. So go ahead and practice this, and make sure that you continue to practice your visualization and your concentration and your